important. And for all our listeners, adult, young, older, we just spent an afternoon with students who graduated from our school, the first class from primary school, which is elementary school, 2008. They were out there running with their own children. They are doctors, they are teachers. They came all driving cars and the whole parking lot. My heart was full. And what I did even after these many years is to listen to them.
Yeah.
They are young parents now, but they still want advice on how to go about raising children. I agree with you. Listen, listen, listen. For those of you who are tweeters, you can tweet that. Beatriz, my
You
friend.
know, I would say one thing more. I think that we are in a very changing world with
Yes.
a lot of novelties. And there is an important connection, intergenerational connection. So the way I approach is different than the way young youth approach the problems. But I think exactly is about the connection, and they can learn with me, I can learn with them, and then we can arrive somewhere, you know? So I think this is the main thing that we have to take.
That is very, very, very true. Now that you've talked about your career, your children, your bringing advice to the children, please do share a little bit about some of the significant challenges you have faced doing the work you do and how you overcame them. Since you are still standing, you have overcome a lot of them. We have heard already about the challenge of dictatorship in Brazil, where you had to go live in another country. But do share some. And the reason I ask this question, many times we talk about the success, what has gone well, and people are left without that elephant in the room, the challenges that we face doing this work. We are both education, so we both have an idea what we are talking about, but we want the audience to be able to hear.
Yeah, I would say we have many small challenges throughout your professional development. So some things that are not so big, and at the moment they look like the biggest thing you have to face, and you have anxiety and you don't know how to behave, and you start to get like lost. So that happens a lot, right? Throughout that's part of growing up professionally, right? So we have many small moments. I can choose one hard moment I had in my career, which was the moment that I decided to leave the other institution. I was, as I told you, my first NGO was called Sedaki. And then there was a moment that we started to have a conflict in terms of vision in the governance level, right, of the institution.
Yes.
And that was really hard, because then you work with people for many years. You had a collective goal and vision, and suddenly you start to see that no, things are not working as you thought it was. So some people go through a different path, and then there's a conflict there, and you have to face the conflict and how to deal with that. So that was really a hard moment in my professional life, because you need to take decisions, and you need to decide what are you going to do. Are you going to impose your vision? Are you going to leave and do whatever you think it's right to do? So this process of moments in your life that you have conflict in terms of vision, in terms of the decision-making process, I think they're very hard. I've been through one, and it was really hard. And I would say that in that case, you need to have courage, courage to sustain your values and face the consequences.
Courage.
Yeah.
Courage and face the consequences. And as we can see, those of us who are believers and Christian, believe in God, we always say that everything has a purpose. God always knows what's going to happen before it happens. And when you're courageous enough to go through the storm, on the other side, there's always sunshine.
But sometimes it takes time to see the sun shining.
It's very hard.
Yes, and also I think during the process,
yes,
you have to have patience and give the time to discussions, to try to influence the others, to be sure that you tried, and then you decide what to do. And all this is really challenging.
Yes, it is. When you think of the years you spent with Sadaki, and now the years you've spent with the new one, Lebadu, what role do you believe technology plays in shaping education and empowering young learners?
The role of technology
That one.
is growing fast, much faster than we could imagine. I think technology is transformative. It has transformed our society. So here we are. You are in Uganda, I am in Brazil. So here we are talking, and normally, right? So it's very easy to do that. It's very easy. This is great. This couldn't happen like 10 years ago. We wouldn't do that. 10 or 15, let's say. So I think it's transformative. It's really important. We cannot disconsider the importance of technology.
Yes.
At the same time, it's not a panacea. It won't solve the main problems we have. It can even enhance the problems, like inequality can be, technology can be, can help, but can also be a problem to broaden the gap, right? So I think we have to have a very realistic relation with technology. Don't throw it away, right? Understand that it's a tool and has a potential,
yes,
but can also harm. So I think, I'm not so young, so I've been through many novelties through my life.
yes.
And if you look back, if you study a little bit, you will see that the blackboard, for example, was a huge transformation. Huge. It was a technology.
Mm-hmm.
It changed the context of school. It made it possible to have collective teaching. Before that, it was very hard, right? So then the book, it's a technology, changed a lot of things.
That's right, yes.
And then TV, and then the calculator. The calculator was a problem when it came.
Yes, that's
because
true.
Everybody thought that children would not know how to make an operation, a math operation.
Yes.
It's not true, right? So it's the same. We're going through, of course, I'm not saying that what we are going through with AI and technology now is the same as a calculator. It's much, much more impactful. But we have to understand that we're going to learn how to use it as we learn how to use the other technologies, right? We have to be aware. We have to understand that now we are going through a change of paradigm. So this is much bigger. But I think we have to, it's a permanent exercise. I don't know if you say, there is a saying in Portuguese, you say, separar o joio do trigo. This means separate wheat from chaff.
Yes.
I don't know if you use that.
Yes. Separate seeds from chaff, yes.
So it's a permanent exercise, and we're going to have to do this more intensively because it's a strong change. But I think it's an ally of us, technology. So can create conditions for many, many things. We just have to be careful on how to use it, and don't believe that will solve all the problems. It won't solve all the problems. And at the same time, I think always value the importance of people, meeting people, connecting in real life. So we can't not lose this. We cannot transform everything in virtual, but we can use the good part of the virtual world.
That is well put. Technology as a tool, can use it to harm, you can use it to grow. A good friend of mine called Chris Ategeka out of San Francisco wrote a book called Unintended Consequences of Technology. And I like the way he took that and looked at cars that are automated. The battery runs out when going down the hill. They are going to continue going down the hill and will meet something. But I do know we have limited time. You have a day ahead of you. Please talk a little bit about your future plans. What does 10 years from now look like for Labedu and for you?
Well, I would say that in terms of the mainstream of our work, as I was saying, going to Harvard, I just got the clear vision that we are doing an important work. I think we are building solutions, I would say, to face the teaching problem in Brazilian systems. Yes. So we tested a lot of our methodologies. Our vocation is to develop applicable knowledge, which is knowledge that can influence the real context of education, school or at home, in the informal places where children are learning. So I think our methodologies now, they are tested. And now we are going through a new moment, which is study the scaling up process. And I think in the next 10 years, we will have a more structured process to offer to make it in scale, make it happen in scale. So this is where I see that our work will be going to. And at the other hand, the eternal challenge of sustainability of an NGO.
Yes.
So this is always hard. So I'm still working on that, and how to really have a team that I can support, not only connected to projects and implementation, but also to think and develop knowledge that can be used from the public systems of education. So that's where I see that we're going to make a difference, transforming our knowledge in scale, in possible scale, to make a difference.
Absolutely right. Sustainability and scaling, and these are all into your legacy. You've already done so much for the children, for the academia, for the family, raised your amazing daughter and son. When your daughter sees this, she's going to see all the flaws in editing and filming. But tell her we are learning, relearning, and unlearning. Beatriz, before I let you go, if you were to give yourself advice when you were 18 years old, you were already a teacher, based on our conversation, what advice would you have given yourself?
Well, I would say that a little bit what I've said already. So the importance of connecting with others, and the importance of developing shared goals. So I think we can transform reality. Individually, we won't. So each one has a different vision, but we have to create space for a collective goal. We want to transform what? And I think education needs a lot of that. Each one has an idea, each one comes with a solution Okay, but where are we going? What we want to construct together? Which are the main challenges that we can work together? So I think this is very important. If since you are very young, you have this understanding that you're not going to solve the problem alone. You have your part.
Yes.
But you need to connect with others.
That's right. You cannot do it alone. You cannot build it alone. You need others. We need shared goals. We need to listen. The founder and CEO of Ep2, ladies and gentlemen, coming to us all the way from Brazil to share her knowledge and experience. Beatriz, we thank you so much for sparing early morning with us. We appreciate you, and to me personally, it was a pleasure and a blessing being in the same space with you for 1 full year. Your wisdom, guidance, steadfastness kept all of us on a good track. I appreciate you. I thank you. Have an amazing day today, and we'll be in touch moving forward.
My pleasure to be here. I thank you, and it was so nice to meet you. I miss you, as I miss our colleagues. So it was really nice to spend this moment with you. Thank you.
And to all the leaders at the offices where we spent all the time, the Brians, the Victorias, we thank you. We appreciate you. Adios. Thank you.